How to improve your pronunciation. Hey everyone! Today I want to talk about something we all struggle with when learning English: pronunciation. You know those moments when you hear a word and think you've got it, but when you try to say it, it just doesn't come out right? Super frustrating, right? You might even catch yourself thinking, why can't I get this word right? But trust me, you're not alone. Pronunciation challenges everyone, no matter where you are in your English journey. So why is pronunciation such a challenge? Well, one reason is that English has 26 letters, but more than 40 different sounds. That's a lot to keep track of. And it means that one letter can be pronounced in many different ways, depending on the word. Take the letter C, for example. In cat, it sounds like a K, but in city, it's more like an S. No wonder people get confused, right? Let's look at some tricky words. Think of comfortable. A lot of people say it like comfortable, but it's actually pronounced more like comfortable. Or how about clothes? Many people say it like clothes, but there's actually a little key sound in there. Clothes. Small details, but they make a big difference. Now, why do we struggle with these sounds? A lot of it has to do with habits. When we learn a new language, we often bring the pronunciation rules from our first language with us. So you might say restaurant as restaurant, but in English it's restaurant. Or maybe you mix up live and leave. One is short and quick while the other is longer. And let's not forget those confusing words that look the same but sound completely different, like read, present tense, and read, past tense. They're spelled the same but pronounced differently. Then you have words like though, through, and thought. They might look similar, but the pronunciations are all over the place. It can definitely feel overwhelming at times. English pronunciation also has a complicated history. The language is a mix of Latin, French, German, and more, which is why many words don't sound anything like how they're spelled. Take night, for example. The K and the A are silent, which can be really confusing. So if you find English pronunciation hard, it's not your fault. It's just how the language evolved. So how can you really improve your pronunciation? It's not as hard as you think. Just take it step by step. First, start by listening carefully. You know how when you hear a song and you're trying to figure out the lyrics, you listen to it over and over again, right? The same goes for pronunciation. Pick a clip from a movie or video you like, something short, and listen closely to how the words sound. Slow it down if you need to, and try writing down what you hear. It's just like when you're getting used to new lyrics. Your ears slowly start to pick up on those tricky sounds. Now, after listening, it's time to speak. Don't worry about getting it perfect right away. Just start saying the words out loud, repeating them until they feel natural. Think of it like practicing a new song or a melody. At first, it feels strange, but the more you sing it, the more it becomes a part of you. Same goes for speaking. You can also try this fun trick. Use a dictation app. Say a sentence into it and see if the app gets what you're saying. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. It's just a clue that maybe those words need a little more work. You'll know exactly what to focus on. It's like the act becomes your feedback buddy. Another great tip is to record yourself. I know, nobody really loves hearing their own voice, but when you record yourself speaking, you can actually hear where things might sound off. Maybe a certain sound is a bit harder, or some words feel unclear. It's like hearing yourself from someone else's perspective. And if you want to go a step further, learning phonetic symbols can really help. I know it sounds technical, but it's just a way to understand how English sounds are supposed to be pronounced, especially when the spelling makes no sense. Like the word enough. It looks confusing, but once you know it's pronounced "nuff," it's not so scary anymore. Oh, and don't forget about the tough sounds. We all have them. For some people, it's the dick sound, like in think or that. It's one of those sounds that needs a bit of extra practice. But the good news is, once you start focusing on those tricky sounds, you'll see improvement faster than you think. But here's the most important thing. Don't aim for perfection. That's not the goal. You just want to feel confident when you speak. Mistakes? They're part of the journey. Use your phone, listen to yourself, and keep practicing. Every bit of effort you put in is moving you closer to being more comfortable with English. So if you found these tips helpful, or if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Let's learn together and keep growing. You're on the right path.